Nice. Nice. Mm. Hey, yo, what's up, KD? What's up? Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Boy, Nasdaq and gold are both selling off after hours. Literally at the start of the session. I was looking for this drop literally towards the end of the day, and I was kind of upset that I didn't get it. And this is one of the main reasons why I just no longer enjoy trading the NQ. What the hell is up with this drop? I was looking for this exact short and I was just playing around. I had to close the position and just for this thing to just a super dump at the end of the session, man. That's just so freaking frustrating. That is frustrating. Hey, yo, what's up, K Trader? Shit, honestly, I think gold might drop further than that. Do you have a position on right now in gold? Now, I think we'll probably see a big drop, a big move down on gold tomorrow. It doesn't mean that she's going to do it now. I want to make that very clear. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen right now. Gold, we all know that gold can super bounce out of nowhere. Fill these orders up here. This is where I'm looking to get short, and then go down to 370. Because what happened yesterday, believe it or not, price was actually in supply the entire day yesterday. And the bulls, as the bears were aggressively trying to sell from supply on gold, the bulls were aggressively buying the dip. A lot of bears got stopped out of this move if you didn't get in at the right spot. Shit, I'm glad that this little sweep right here didn't happen before I got my target filled yesterday, because that would have been frustrating. Actually, no, this is not the price. Actually, yeah, it is. Okay, yeah, because I was in the position, and this is where I got stopped out of my second position, and I was able to catch the pullback and get my money back in that play. So I'm just glad that this move didn't happen over here, because I was in 3 funded accounts looking for the short that almost did not complete. It tried stopping me out multiple times, but I'm glad I was able to get that win. And good thing that because I was in long, so I was in that same long from, I think, at the end of yesterday's stream. I didn't take profits on it. I probably have to think about how I'm going to trade this account, because the competition account, because it looks like gold is no longer making these big moves, or at least not this week. I know it's only Monday, but looks like gold is struggling to make big moves. It's like she's reverting back to her old ways, which can be concerning. We need these gold needs to stay moving like she's has been. That's what makes her the baddest bitch in the game right now. And if she reverts back to her old regular bitch ways, then we might have to go back to the Nasdaq. Maybe, 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 because the Nasdaq has been chopping around too, man. The Nasdaq has been chopping around, but like a small scalp down. Yeah, Yeah, that's what I mean, KD. Like I don't know. I think eventually we get down there, but the market is making lower lows and lower highs. So we should. But like I said, the bulls have been aggressively buying this dip. Shit, I don't know what the hell's going on. Or the bulls just won't let this go. The bulls they're just not letting it go. But I would be in the short if given the opportunity. I wouldn't actually look for longs. Even if we do see a bounce, I'm not looking for longs. I'm looking to get into this short somewhere. Yeah, gold has definitely been acting up. And congratulations to Cave Trader. I know that he's already locked in his payout and requested it already. Cave Trader, Cave Trader actually he did something big. He was $400 away from his payout last week. He didn't go on until he accepted the loss, which is very powerful, very commendable actually. Yeah. It was $400 away, and he ended the day being $1,000 away from, that target. But he stuck to his system, and his system got him past the finish line. I guess it was one of those tests to make sure that Cave Trader was actually true about this, because the normal prop firm trader in a situation like that, myself included, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is not even above the behavior that I would exhibit, but after just needing $400 but managed to lose $1,000. Man. And it's not even an X account. This is an account that he has full reign to trade and revenge trade in. So that's more props to it, because it's not like an X account where he locks himself out or anything, or he can lock himself out. Yeah, congratulations, man. You deserve it, man. You earned it. Okay, Trader, you've definitely earned it. And I'm happy for you, man. Wow, shit, you don't need me to be happy for you. I'm happy that you were able to achieve your goal and get your payout. Yeah, what's up, Alfred? He said Traderify is coming up next. Yeah, I'm working on my Traderify accounts now. Over the weekend I've done a lot of back testing. I've looked at old trades, and you know what? I've kind of there was actually a trade last week that actually kind of solidified this for me. I initially lost the trade. Don't know why. I guess I traded outside of my rules. I think I forgot how I lost that trade. I think I was too anxious of trying to kind of get the day done, and I traded in the wrong location as the market was going. Or I think I didn't look at the 15-minute to see what direction the market was going in, and I ended up trading against the overall trend, and wasn't able to get it. And what I would usually do to get my money back is if the market would initially short, but it doesn't hit my target, and then it comes and stop me out, I would go higher and then short it there, looking for to get my money back plus the money I lost, or get to the maximum daily profit plus the money I lost. And that works. It works. But what I've come to understand now is that the easier trade is to get stopped out and then change the direction that I'm trading in. Because usually if it's blowing past, well, okay, so obviously there's parameters. If it's not a double top rejection, or if price hadn't reject from, supply or demand, then just flipping and trading the other side is usually the better and easier trade. And I was able to do that last week. Gold made me literally wait all day for the long setup, and I was able to get it towards the end of the day because I was not about to go. I had one more attempt to get my money back, and uh, I was going to sit in front of my desk for as long as it took to get that set up. And finally, gold gave me an opportunity to take it long. And sure enough, it was an easy get back instead of trying to force it and going short, trying to look for the short, going higher. I just waited for the pullback and got the long. And this was a day where the gold was super choppy. So it did trade higher, but it was chopping higher, man. I didn't get that trade until about 1 o'clock Central Time. And I had a losing trade at 7:30 in the morning, 7 or 8. So shit, she made me wait for that shit, man. I was like, God dang. But yeah, I'm not liking this price action, man. I guess gold is back to being a senior citizen right along with the Nasdaq, the Golden Girls. ES, gold, and Nasdaq, all senior citizen price action. All right. Yeah, Cave Trader. I believe I'm back on track. I haven't been thirsty for setups like I kind of talked about in last night's stream. You know, once a lot of things are now in my conscious awareness, it's kind of hard to do it. It's kind of hard to behave a certain way when you're no longer ignorant of it. That's why they say ignorance is bliss, because shit, if you don't know it's ignorance, then you'll continue to do what makes you happy, right? Until you are no longer ignorant about the situation, and now you're kind of not necessarily forced, but you kind of have to behave in a certain way. And that's kind of where I'm at now. Now I'm focusing on the process. If I got stopped out of that trade this morning, I just would have flipped. I mean, shit, if you go look at it again. I just would have, I had a backup strategy already set because I really believed that the market was going to stop me out. I was in this trade for an hour and 13 minutes. And as you can see, initially I was in this trade. What is that? 9. So I think it was like 5 points. I was in 5 points, and then price comes all the way back to my break even. And I'm thinking, shit. And then gold does this shit right here, where it's about like 2 points away from my target. And it comes all the way back to my break even. It cracks the break even. Now I'm in drawdown. I'm thinking, shit. But, you know, what I will commend myself is that, I allowed the trade to play out. I didn't try to, adjust anything. I didn't try to scale into this and add into it. But, man, this thing was acting up until it finally my TP finally got hit, man. Gold let my TP hit, man. And then you already know that gold did this shit before hitting the target. So I'm thinking, gold, like, why do we always have to do this song and dance? What is so hard with just hitting the target the first time? What is so hard about that? What is so hard about it? You know? It's like honestly, I kind of did get an early entry on this. I wanted to get in a little bit higher, but when I saw that gold was rejecting right there, I kind of got into it, like right here, because I thought that was a double top rejection. So I got in, but obviously gold actually went to my original entry, and I mean, I was only about what, four or not four, but like 2 or 3 ticks at 27 ticks in drawdown at the most, I think. So, yeah, that was frustrating. That was frustrating. Yeah, you see like how gold likes doing this shit. We're just jumping right before the target, and I have to consider if I'm going to actually get out of it. Yeah, like, dude, it's like it's crazy that she does this. She just doesn't want to hit that target the first time. And this is another one. Like, yeah, she just doesn't want to hit it the first time. She wants to pull back and then hit it. So that's kind of frustrating with gold, man. That's very frustrating. That's frustrating. But yeah, I think all these trades had that same situation happen where I'm just getting missed by a tick and then it's bouncing. Every single trade has been like that. Yeah, like, dude, he does. But you know, I'm no longer allowing the market to emotionally fuel me anymore. I'm just gonna take the trade, you know, see what happens. Obviously, there's certain outcomes and results that I don't want to happen, obviously. But what I won't do moving forward is trading on tilt, adjusting my stop, adding to a position, regardless if it's winning or losing. I just kind of want to be one and done. That's about it. Hey, what's up, Core Phone Trader? He says that you know, I mean, gold can be very nasty at times, man. Gold can be super freaking nasty. But I love her, man. I love her. I can't let her go. So now I'm just waiting on. I don't know what the hell happened here. I just came back to my desk and I saw that this thing just super dumped. Obviously, it took out the liquidity underneath all these lows. And gold is now trending down. So I don't know. I don't know. I know that if price comes back, you know, this is probably a really good area for a short. But if this thing continues to tumble down, then it starts to collect some liquidity down here. Man, it's going to be hard to take that short. It's going to be hard, especially if it continues to go down. I do think we see a big move in gold tomorrow to the downside. Actually, let's look at that. Actually, no, I don't want to. All right, let's look at gold, and let's see if okay. All right, so all right, so let's look at this. So you're not going to see none. So let's look like right there. Let's see what the market is thinking. So that's interesting. That's interesting that they were buying calls yesterday that expire on the 5th. They were buying calls on at 9:56 Central Time today. I mean, 360 is the biggest gamma level on gold right now. And it looks like there's an order block right here. So I'm going to leave my limit sitting right there because it does appear that if price comes back up to 368, we'll probably see a continuation down. because you can already see that we got that double top. We got that rejection from this order block right here. And it's highly likely that a retest of this area is going to fill all of these orders right here. And we can see a continuation down. And the biggest gamma level is at 360. But we do have a big gamma level at 380. So I don't know. Okay, let's look, because I don't think we have any news tomorrow. Actually, I did see some activity in the Qs today. So let's look at the Qs. I think we'll finally see that big move down on the Qs. Let's look at the orders. Yeah, so 631. So 631.98. 631.98. So it's obvious that these are sells, because from this area, right where these shares transacted, we got this big move down. So I'm gonna keep my eyes on the retracement back up into this area before I move back down. But it does appear that the Qs filled their gap, or I think was it a complete gap fill? Okay, so it looks like that gap has already been filled. Okay. Looks like that gap's been filled already. And price traded into this order block right here. So if we see a bounce back up here, the question will be, will the bears hold this? Will they hold the pullback? And will we can see a continuation down? Or will we see the Qs continue to make highs? Because the biggest gamma level right now is 640 on the Qs to the upside. And the biggest gamma level to the downside is 625. So I'm gonna definitely keep my eyes out for these levels right here. You said NQ filled the gap from Sunday's open? Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so Alfred, I don't know if he was here earlier, but I was short the Nasdaq towards the end of the day. Nasty. Sitting there waiting for the short to happen. I'm sitting there thinking, damn, man, what the hell is going on? So I assumed that the market might just be going up, and I was like, well, I actually didn't even monitor the trade. I was just in it. And it closed like right here, I guess, at the end of the day. It closed right there. And I was kind of disappointed because I was like, damn, I thought this thing was going to drop. And then the next session, I see all this crap right here. So I wonder why. You couldn't let me win yesterday, NQ, after I think I took what, 2 losses in NQ yesterday? I took 2 losses in NQ. This move would have brought me back to at least break even, if not profitable. And she stood there just to drop the next session. So that's oh yeah, let's look at that. You're gonna test out lean hogs. That's interesting. Yeah, this been provided by Alfred. The Palantir earnings, him and hers. Apparently, Wall Street Bets likes this stock. Apparently, the him and hers. So we got super microcomputers and AMD after the bell. I don't know if Uber, Shopify, because obviously these were stocks big during the COVID. Pfizer, obviously. I will see what happens in the morning. I don't think these stocks are going to be market moving, but I mean, shit, who knows, right? Wednesday, we got Qualcomm, AMC, Snap. It's interesting that no one cares about Snap anymore. It's if anybody is familiar with the backstory in ARM 2, if anybody is familiar with the Snap, I think Mark Zuckerberg, when he went to them and said that I want to buy Snapchat, and they said no, and then he made his version of Snapchat. I think because they never recovered. Snapchat was set out to be, a rival to, one of the big social media platforms, and all of a sudden, it went away just like Yahoo. It's crazy how Yahoo and Snapchat had so much potential, and yet something happened behind the scenes, and they were both offered to be bought out by another company. They both declined, and unfortunately, both companies are no longer. They will never see that price ever again, which is unfortunate. So. It seems like Mark Zuckerberg is like the Thanos of freaking social media, because he has a copy of every popular social media platform underneath his belt. It's like, how does he keep getting away with this? How does he keep getting away with that? His star flagship product, Facebook. I mean, shit, what is it? Boomers are the only people that are holding Facebook up right now. But once the boomers go away, Facebook is going to go away, just like Yahoo and Snapchat. And there's nothing wrong with Facebook too. It's just the fact that people see it as old, kind of the same thing that happened with MySpace. If we remember MySpace. Yeah. Yeah, Snap I remember Snap, for whatever reason, people bought. I mean, obviously they knew insider information, and literally at the last few minutes before earnings, there were a bunch of Snap calls being bought, and I actually saw it come in, and I hesitated because I was like, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what was going on. It's hindsight is obviously 2020. If I can just transfer all the knowledge that I have now back when I was trading options, man, I'll be a bajillionaire. Because I didn't know anything about futures in prop firms. I think Top Step at the time was the only one, and they had stupid 3 phases. And I don't think Smith didn't even. I don't think Smith told me about it at this point, because I was still trading options. If I was trading the prop firms, because when I started trading the prop firms, I stopped trading options. So I know I hadn't started trading options at that time yet. Anyway, I saw the Snap options come in at the last minute. I hesitated. I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I should buy this. And man, I should have bought the shit. Because I think at the time, Snap was at like, what, $7? End of day options that expire. Or not expire. Maybe it's like a 1 or 2 day DTE, because I don't think well, it doesn't even matter, because if you bought a 0 DTE when the market closed, that shit was going to be worthless anyway. But obviously, Snapchat will probably never have that effect on the market ever again. Who was that woman that everybody was like, "Oh yeah, we should have her because she she was picking what is it called? Um Lockdown stocks, and they was trying to talk about she's like the female version of Warren Buffett and shit." And I was like, dude, she had one good year and all of a sudden she's being compared to Warren Buffett, someone that's been doing this shit for God knows how long. She's just a gambler just like us. She was just a gambler just like us. Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of us. Because obviously afterwards she didn't have that same she was selling Tesla before it pumped. Like, dude, I don't know if she was doing that shit on purpose or not, because you can't be that foolish. You can't be that foolish, man. You can't sit here and say that you're a professional investor. You got people giving you their money and you're selling Tesla before it pumps and buying it as it dumps. Like that is like the craziest. It's like, are you trolling? You're supposed to be a professional. The only person that I mean, we all know why she gets the results, but Nancy Pelosi is probably the best investor of all time, though. Shit, the saying goes is when shit, if Nancy Pelosi is in it, we all are in it, because we all know that she be buying and that shit be hit. Oh yeah, Kathy Wood, yeah, man. It kind of made me rethink. It kind of made me rethink. Uh, because if you're giving somebody their money and they're telling you that, yeah, we lost all your money, can you please give us more? And then they give you more money. I mean, why are they giving her more money? Why does anybody get more money when they? I mean, I guess because of where I come from, if you lose somebody's money, shit, man, you lose somebody's money, we're gonna have problems. But I guess in this world, I guess losing other people's money is normal, and people just have to accept that because they've accepted the risk. I guess. Hmm. It's interesting though. When was Nancy Pelosi's when was her last good trade? It's interesting how she's no longer the House Speaker, and all of a sudden her investment career actually took a nosedive. I wonder why. Wonder why we don't hear about them Nancy Pelosi trades anymore. What's up with that? So they can't track her as a private citizen. I mean, hold on. She's not a private citizen, isn't? All right, let me look this up because I don't want to say something foolish. When it comes to politics, I really don't care, so I don't keep up with it. But isn't she still in? She's still a. Hold on. Really? Okay, so I was like, yeah, isn't she still part of Congress? Apparently, yeah. So she's currently a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, representing California's 11th congressional district. I mean, yeah. So she's still in Congress. She is on her 20th term. That is so interesting. Hmm. Okay. All right. So it looks like both the Nasdaq and the and gold is not going to give us any opportunities, at least not right now. Technically, it's supposed to be 940 right now. Technically, honestly, I'm still paying attention on if the market is still running off of the old algorithm, even though the time has shifted, or if the algorithms were updated along with the time chain, which I highly, highly doubt has happened. That would actually require somebody actually paying attention to detail. And when it comes to things that you automate, that usually does not happen. So, we did identify an area yesterday. 935 is actually an area that I'm looking for the market to react to. And so I am actually looking for the market to pull into this area, and we could potentially see a bounce, because this is the area that we saw a bounce from this morning, and we was able to identify this area from last night. And now the market is actually breaking through this area. That means that the market is running the stops underneath this range. So let's do this. So I'm going to set a limit down here at this range. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if we'll actually get price to pull into this range. This is NQ, Taven. This is NQ. And gold isn't doing anything either. Gold is back to her senior citizen price action. Senior citizen price action. Which is a good thing on gold. I mean, it's honestly, if gold would continue to move the way that it does, but kind of just chill out with all the volatility, that would actually be welcome. I would welcome that with gold. I really would, because today, so that trade that we took at the end of yesterday's stream that I got about what 18 points on. I didn't take no profits though. I didn't take not one profit, and that shit came all the way back down. And it closed out for the session. But if I didn't have, so in this trade right here, I had a 54 tick stop instead of my 45 tick stop that I usually trade with. In this situation, this would have stopped me out at my 45 tick stop almost to the T. It would have actually, so my stop would have been right here, and it would have ticked me out by 2 ticks or stopped me out by 2 ticks and then went in my direction. The only thing that saved this position was the bigger stop. It just seems like the volatility is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger on gold. And it's going to get to the point. Hopefully it doesn't, but I feel like it because I'm already at 5 points. So will I need a 10-point stop now? If gold gets any more volatile, if it just gets any more crazier, because I got in that support, it just ran support about almost 4 or 5 ticks, 50 ticks. Or I guess let me say this. I got in at the top of the support. Obviously, it was a range right there. It was this range right here. And usually gold does a good job just top ticking that range. And that's what I'm used to. So I will probably get in at the top of a range on gold. But gold dug really deep into this range and bounced literally at the bottom of it. So I think what I'm going to start doing now is probably like if I'm trading at a range, I probably have to adjust my stop to be kind of a couple ticks underneath this range. I probably have to have a dynamic stop because as you can see, gold tapped into this range twice. It broke through it, used it as resistance. And now we're seeing the market trend down. So actually, this actually might be an area where the market has to get over. And we'll probably see the market tap, probably reject, and then we'll probably see a stop run. The bulls use it as support. And the next level of resistance is that 420 level. It's that 420 level right there. You see that range right there. Break a structure. Price didn't even come back to the range. So this is an untested area where price broke structure to the downside. We got the bulls failing to hold it here. So just a retest of that area right there would probably be a decent short. I've been good, Taven. How about yourself? What have you been trading lately? Have you been trading more Nasdaq? Have you been trading gold? Well, hopefully this is just something temporary because I would hate it. I would hate as soon as I say, you know what, I'm going to start trading the way I'm supposed to trade. As soon as I say that, the market now wants to change it up. That would just completely suck. So I do kind of want to take a test trade though. I do want to take a test trade. And that's why I want to take that trade right there, because I was looking for an entry at this level earlier during yesterday's session. We just didn't get price to come back to it. So I do want to take a trade here. This is not in an account that, this is like a throwaway Apex account that I take test trades in. I want to make that very clear. I'm not tied to the results on this at all. This is just for scientific purposes only. I mean, if it works, it just kind of, it builds confidence for, you know, trades like this, because I'm starting to think that trades like this, where there's not immediate price action to it. So as an example, let's just say that this trade right here worked. Or let me see if I can find a good example. Kind of like this. So I prefer to take trades on gold where the price action is in the same proximity of each other. You got your range right here. Actually, let me see. I probably can't see that. All right, so you got your range right here, the consolidation. You got the breakdown. You got the breakdown. And I'm always looking to trade a pullback. So I'm always, my setup that I'm always looking for is this. I'm looking for the range. I'm looking for the breakdown, because this confirms to me that the bulls failed here to take it higher. Their stops got ran, and a pullback into this area is highly likely to see a follow through. Highly likely. I don't think I've seen a situation where the market hasn't done that. Even when we have volatile news, you'll see something where the market just instantly tags that area, and then it'll come right back down, and then either it's going to continue higher or continue lower. But I still see price respect prior structure on gold. That's why I enjoy trading it. Anyway, so I prefer to take that trade right there for the move down. Now, in this situation, this range was created early in the session. And since this range was created right here, this range right here was created earlier in the session, we've had all this price action to the right, which makes me not, my confidence level on a trade like this would fall to about 45%. It would fall below 50%, because it's not something that the market had came back to immediately. We've had all this price action. Usually the market would need to pull back to this range to get to these heights, but the market pushed higher without a pullback. It broke structure to the upside. We have a slight pullback. It made a new high. It pulled back. The bulls are failing to hold it, and it had a breakdown. So I wouldn't be confident to take this trade in a funded account or an account that I'm growing, because in my mind, trades like this do not work. So when I'm in a situation like this, I like to just get into a throwaway account where I just kind of want to see what happens in a situation like this. And it just allows me to take these types of trades. I probably still won't take a trade like this because the risk is not even worth the reward. I think if I were to take this trade 10 times, I probably would win it less than 50% of the time. And that's my old alarm for the stream starting at 9. That was my old alarm. Okay. But if we see the market push higher, if I don't get filled in this order here, and I were to see a push, I wouldn't allow this thing to pull back and fill this order. Because I'm looking for the move back up into this range at least. If the market breaks out into this range, then it invalidates this trade because that's why I'm taking it. Because if they balance out this range and then they pull back, I mean, this 45% trade turns into a 30% and below. It's highly unlikely for it to work in your favor, or depending on how many points you're looking for on gold. You're in gold shorts now. Where are you targeting? I know KD was targeting 970, but as I told KD earlier in the stream, I do believe that we'll get down there, but we all know that gold likes to play around. We all know that. We know this. Every gold trader knows that when gold bounces, it's a hard bounce. You can see a 20-point bounce. Like if this was my target right here, honestly, I would be concerned because the market double bottom right here. And we're starting to see not only price pushing higher, but there's a trend line that's coming down that gold just broke out of. So we got a breakout. Now, I'm not saying to get out of your position, obviously. What I'm saying is just be mindful that we got this trend line and we got a break of that trend line, but we also have the 200 EMA coming down right there. So if the market comes up and we get a rejection from that 200 EMA, but if we break that 200 EMA, depending on where you are, where your entry is, it's your position to manage. I would recommend managing it because we all know that gold will bounce, and sometimes she just keeps on going until she reaches the next level of support or resistance. Yeah, sure. Well, I'm almost filled. We'll see. We'll see what happens in this trade. I do expect well, we'll see what happens. I expect the Nasdaq to be herself here. I expect her to be herself. Where's your second profit target at, Cave Trader? Yeah. Shit, you got 940. Well, right now the current low is 941. So you should get your target filled if it hasn't been filled already. If you meant 940 even, then yeah, you got 1 point. Is it somewhere around there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you. I mean, and it's pretty nasty that Nasdaq is kind of stopping at 940. Ooh, I'm starting to see gold kind of do a small little bounce. Okay. So we got that small little breakout from that trend line. If we don't see that rejection from the 200 EMA, I mean, we could see price come all the way back up here at 409. Yo, congratulations on that, bro. Congratulations, and I mean that's pretty decent. That's pretty impressive since you're only trading 1 to 2 micros, unless you're trading more than that on cross accounts. Honestly, I don't know what the heck is going on. You know, I mean, trading small does it definitely helps you sleep at night. It definitely helps you sleep at night. When I was trading the Nasdaq purely off of gambling, man, I didn't realize that I wasn't really going to sleep until I switched to the ES. It's amazing how the body just gets used to certain things and you don't see it until you're put into a different environment. You're put into a different situation. When I got tired of, or I guess when me and the Nasdaq went on break, because me and Nasdaq went on a couple of breaks, because of shit like this, because of shit like that, because of stuff like this. Anyway, when I started trading the ES, or when I started focusing on the ES, I went to sleep and I actually woke up refreshed. I actually went to sleep. I wasn't thinking about what would happen tomorrow if I'm going to blow the account, if tomorrow's going to be the day, if it's going to be the day where I have to fight to keep my account. Am I going to blow up on the Nasdaq? Am I going to go on till will the Nasdaq fill my order? Will the Nasdaq be nice to me? Will the Nasdaq demand that I offer up an account sacrifice? Will I get in at the right time, in the right location at the right time? Will I get my target filled? I mean, there's just so many uncertainty. And I guess I was just so used to it. So much uncertainty. Until I started trading the ES. And then it was like, wow. All that uncertainty went away and I was able to go to sleep at night. But as I like to say, it was boring though. I guess it's like being in a toxic relationship and then having somebody that'll actually help heal you. And you don't know how to behave in a relationship like that. You'll start an argument just because you're so used to it. The peace is uncomfortable. So you go back to what you're used to, what you're comfortable with. And that's the toxicity, even if it's damaging to you. Even if it's killing you slowly, the toxicity, the chaos is just comfortable. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. As I educate myself on these matters, I'm really starting to understand why when people come out with strategies like with ICT and stuff like that, you know, like how he was saying that, oh, they're trying to shut him up. They told him not to share the strategies and blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that none of that happened. I'm not saying that. But what I can say with confidence is that it doesn't matter if you know ICT, if you created the algorithm, if you know what the algorithm is going to do and how it's going to do it, because trading is not designed for that. You're fighting against yourself. You're fighting against those chemical releases. Once you get a taste of that crack, that NAS crack, that volatility, the instant gratification, you're fighting against yourself. You just want that hit. You want that dopamine hit. And we've been talking about that for a while now. And it doesn't matter if you're going to get in that support. The brain is very good at manipulating the body to do what it wants because that's its job. The brain is supposed to lead the body. Without the brain, without that guiding light, the body has no, guiding light. It will drift. It will wander. The term mindless begins to really make sense. It wanders mindlessly. These sayings that we heard growing up, at least now they have meaning because you understand where it comes from, where the saying derives from. And the brain is really good at manipulating the situation, creating these stories in your head to get what it wants. Oh man, even though there's support down there, it could bounce here. It can bounce here. Yeah, let's get into this thing. Look, it's building support. There's a double top. Oh my God, there's a fair value gap. Get in. Even though you had a plan and everything, it's like, fuck that plan. Let's get in. There's a double bottom right there. Let's get in. And then you get into the trade, and then your brain is the first one to call you an idiot. Like, it's so freaking crazy. You fucking idiot. Why didn't you wait till you get in that support? It will shamelessly do that shit, man. It's shameless. But it wants what it wants, right? It wants that dopamine. It wants some feel-good chemicals. And it will do anything to get what it wants, like a drug addict. And this was a very powerful, this piece of information was very powerful for me when I understood it, when I came across it, is that it's not, so like someone doing heroin or crack or whatever, is people are not addicted to these drugs. they're addicted to the chemicals that these drugs release inside of you, because everything's already inside of you. These drugs, these substances just release these chemicals, these reward chemicals that wouldn't be released unless you're doing something that, because it's supposed to be a reward, but these drugs, all what they do is just unlock these rewards without you doing anything. And the mind has this thing where it's lazy, it's efficient. And so why the hell do I need to build my account over months? Kind of like Cave Trader. I'm gonna use Cave Trader as an example. He built his accounts over a long time, and he's getting a payout. The mind is like, well, why do I need to do that? I can just gamble and hope for the best. And instead of gradually building my account over time, I can just gamble and get it get it today. Probably get it at the end of the week if I can just continue to be lucky enough. Gambling really takes away the meaning of disciplined trading. If these prop firms didn't allow us to gamble, I think a lot of their customer base would leave. They know this. That's why they don't take away your ability to gamble. But they have to have certain things in place to protect themselves from liability, because they're giving you resources, educational content. There's systems that you can put in place yourself that will help you. So all the things that they're doing is just protecting themselves. So you can't come up and say that, they took advantage of me. I'm a gambling addict, blah, blah, blah. They have predatory practices, and they have rules that force me to force me to trade or have certain behaviors. There's resources out there, and they give you these resources, but they know that if you fall victim to yourself, then even you can't come after them. And they know this. They have the data. That's definitely true, Knife Art. Definitely true. Why meditate when I can drink alcohol and I can temporarily relieve myself of reality? Even though meditation, and we're not talking about the exaggerated version of meditation where you see like the monks doing all kind of crazy shit with their legs and just crazy shit. Meditation can be literally anything, like going for a walk. Meditation basically is you doing something that allows you to release, to let go, to have clarity. It's not you just, crossing your legs, breathing and visualizing. That's what they show on TV, and that's very misleading. You can go on the treadmill. That's how I meditate every morning. I go on the treadmill and I walk for 27 minutes every day, or during my gym days. And I just kind of reflect on what I need to do for the day, what I want to accomplish. And that's how I meditate in the morning. Just walking. And once I do my walk, I get in front of the charts, look at what's happened overnight, and make my trading decisions from there. Yep, that's definitely true. That's definitely true, Knife Art. The whole point of meditation is to calm the monkey mind. It's the whole point of it. Just to have clarity, just to have silence, just to be aware of yourself. But drugs and alcohol takes away the need for that. It's the same thing, but it's just a destructive version of it. And if you use it over time, it becomes a person become dependent on it, and they're no longer drinking these or they're no longer consuming these substances to escape, but they're consuming these substances because it is now a habit. Their body is reliant on these chemicals because like I said, the body is efficient. If you give it an easy way out, it's unlikely for it to go back to the harder path. That's why you have to be very disciplined about what you give yourself, because it won't take those step backs if it knows that it doesn't have to. Now, if you're in a stranded location and your body knows like, okay, well, I can't go down the street and get a loaf of bread or Tylenol or whatever, then it will revert back because it has to, but it doesn't have to. So it won't allow you to do it. And that's why a lot of alcoholics, as soon as they stop drinking, their body begins to break down. A lot of them die. As crazy as that sounds, they stop drinking and they die because their body is dependent on these things. And the body is just unwilling to go back and do it because honestly, I feel like it doesn't know how to do it anymore. You know what, Nasdaq? That's actually pretty true, Nivart. That's pretty true. A lot of people don't appreciate their environment around them because they have their phones. It kind of reminds me of that story. Damn, what was that story called? Actually, what was that story called? That book called, what the heck? The Alchemist. Okay, there you go. The Alchemist. I was like, dude, The Alchemist. That's actually another great book. I'm gonna actually read that book over the weekend as well. The Alchemist. And the story I was referring to was the king that told the boy, he put 2 drops of oil in a spoon and told him not to drop it. And so as he walked around the garden, because he was so focused on not dropping those 2 drops of oil in the spoon, he missed all the beauties that the garden that he was walking in had to offer. And then when he got back to the king, he was like, hey, I didn't drop these 2 drops of oil. The king asked him, did you see this? Did you see that? And the boy was like, no, I didn't notice these things. I didn't notice that. And so he told him to walk around again. And the second time he was able to see things that he wasn't able to see the first time because he wasn't focused on these things. He was focused on completing his task, which I like stories like that because it just kind of shows it just brings to light that there are things that there's a lot of things that we miss because we're not paying attention. if I'm not paying attention, how do I know what I missed? And stuff like that just kind of makes me just sit back and think. It makes me think about the stuff that, I wasn't paying attention to. And it's so crazy that it just kind of also shows that the mind will blind you from things, because if you're so focused, like there's times when I'm so focused on getting my target, like this morning on Nasdaq, I was so focused on getting my target that I didn't see this reject. I saw it after the fact, but I was already invested in the trade. I was like, well, wow, I'm gonna get stopped out. We had a winning trade turn into a loser because I missed this price action right here. I missed it because I was so focused on getting to the other side of the range that I missed this block. And when it rejected and it was kind of going against me and I was kind of reevaluating the trade, I was like, oh shit, it double topped at this area of previous resistance. And I literally didn't see it. And I hate that. I hate when I blind myself from information that goes against what I'm already believed to be true. I hate that because I want to be close to the truth as possible. I don't mind being wrong. I really don't. But for whatever reason, I was blinded. I blinded myself to this because I wanted to be right. A trader says Kimberly Clark, which only has a market cap of 37 billion, is spending $40 billion to buy the Tylenol maker. Why is that? Why are they doing that? No, this is my first time hearing about that. Well, they believe that Tylenol is going to weather the storm. I don't think Tylenol or whoever the maker is or why this is happening. They're saying, or at least this article is saying that Tylenol is selling or whatever because of Trump and what's his name? JFK, RFK is targeting the drug. It's what happened. When all those pregnant women foolishly was taking drugs, taking the Tylenol while pregnant, even though on the bottle itself it says that it's not recommended. They were harming themselves and their children. I think someone actually lost their lives. And I think that's what we're seeing. You got to think about what hasn't been seen or said yet. Because if this was something that Tylenol or whoever the maker of Tylenol is thought that this would just be something that is like, well, it's not a big deal. We'll just let people talk about it and then they'll move on to the next thing. Something must have happened for them to be like, oh shit, well, okay. We'll never recover from this, because moving forward, they probably projected that anytime if anybody would have taken Tylenol and they have any adverse effect because of this situation, because of what's happened so far, it will be hard and it will be very expensive to fight every legal suit that would come Tylenol's way. Because this, for whatever reason, the United States love litigation. And you can tell somebody about something, you can warn them, but they'll find a way to say, it's your fault that this happens to me. I feel like I deserve compensation. And these lawyers, if you, especially you got Tylenol, man, they'll have a field day trying to acquire Tylenol's assets. And I think, and this is my assumption, obviously I don't know, but just using common sense, I think they had this discussion. They projected that it would probably be better to get out now and sell it to somebody else for them to deal with, because we already know it's coming. If a kid has autism or whatever, that Trump is saying that the studies are showing that Tylenol is linked to autism. As soon as child takes Tylenol, or they have Tylenol and they have autism, it's automatically lawsuit already. And it's better just to get out now. I wouldn't have done it. But I guess they believe that it can weather the storm. So hopefully they're right. The Tylenol maker is getting out at 48 billion. I'm pretty sure what is going to probably happen. I mean, Tylenol is a household brand. It's recognizable. I mean, shit, the name of the medication is the name of the brand. I don't know. I mean, I guess they can always make a new drug. I mean, using the same formula. I mean, I don't know. Whatever the. But that would be kind of hard to give up. That would be hard to give up. Let's ask the AI assistant, because honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, that would be hard to give up. I wouldn't want to give up something like that. Okay. As I said, legal and reputational pressure. That's obvious. This one was pretty obvious. You didn't need a rocket scientist to know that they were worried about legal. Damn, what's the word? Shit. Future legal battles due to anything that's linked to autism or anything. I'm surprised that that girl did it herself. Honestly, I really don't know why the women were taking Tylenol while pregnant, just because Trump said not to, and was surprised that they negatively affected or they harmed themselves. I really don't get that, but I don't know why. I don't know what would possess somebody to take a handful of Tylenol in the first place. I mean, why would you normally do that? But I digress. I mean, I digress. Whatever. Kind of off topic. It's hard to get reincarnated nowadays, because everybody is just mentally just gone. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense now. Appreciate old school mothers, because these new school mothers are just, man, it's hard to reincarnate nowadays. I'll just leave it at that. It's saying that Tylenol's sales fell by 11% following the autism controversy. But I mean, these brands know that people, I mean, they overreact initially, but when push come to shove, when they're in pain, they're gonna grab a bottle of Tylenol, regardless of whatever claims that somebody is making about this drug. They should know this. I know this, so they should know this too. They know this is just something that social media is just paying attention to right now. There'll be something new that it pays attention to. Everything will be forgotten, and people will still take Tylenol. So I really don't know why they did that. And it doesn't make sense. But I feel like that was probably an overreaction, and that was probably pressure by the board. People just uncertain of what the future would bring, and they just saw the sales, they saw the pending litigation, future litigation. So it was like, oh, well, you might as well cut our losses. But usually in situations like this is a buy the dip opportunity where somebody buys a dip and then 5 years down the line, they're bajillionaires. And then the original person that sold is like, oh my God, I wish I held on to it instead of panic selling. So Kimberly Clark, a diversified product portfolio and synergy and brand, blah, blah, blah. So Huggies, Kleenex, Band-Aid, Aveeno, and Neutrogena. Oh, wow. I mean, okay. Yeah, I think that was stupid. Whoever made that decision, they don't need to be in a decision making position, because just for the simple fact that somebody else was willing to buy the product should have been evidence enough that we're overreacting right now. Somebody literally didn't have the money, came up with the money to buy your product. That right there should have been like, you know what, let's think about this, because obviously Kimberly Clark don't got 40 billion in the bank. But they came up with it, 48 billion, 40, so shit's basically 49 billion. They didn't have the money, but they came up with it. They found a way. So let's sit back and think about this. But that didn't happen. So, well, thanks for sharing that, Cave Trader. Yeah. And you didn't think about any health risk or anything else like that, did you? Even though there are supposedly reports stating that this drug is linked to this and that. No one cares about that shit when they're in pain. No one cares. All right, so we did get that bounce in gold. I mean, it was kind of obvious. Once we saw the breaker structure, we got breaker structure, we got point of control. And I'm going to pull this order because, like I said, this entry was supposed to trade, or is supposed to catch this move back into this range. So any move back down would just be a low probability winner. Low probability. And now, if you look to the left, we can see that gold has broken structure to the left. Gold has broken structure to the upside. So not only has it broken structure at this trend line right here, it's broken these swing highs. So now what's highly likely to happen is for a pullback to happen and the bulls stepping up at that pullback. So let's see if we can find one. What kind of pain were you in, Cave Trader? No one cares about that shit. When they're in pain, no one cares. It is a headache. I'm gonna let it. I had a headache. Coffee. That brings me back for sure. I remember back in the day when I was in the military, there was a Starbucks that I would stop by on the way to work, getting a damn. I like the. Actually, it was a Starbucks. It was McDonald's. It was McDonald's. I like the frappe, the caramel chocolate frappe, and I would stop by and get that. I didn't like coffee, but I like the frappes. Honestly, I don't know how anybody drinks coffee, man, especially black. You talking about the taste or what it does for you? Because I'm talking about the taste. I don't particularly like the taste of coffee with creamer and sweetener. Hmm. Oh, does it? Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it, Cave Trader. I'll take your word for it. I know a lot of people swear by coffee now. Oh yeah. What the hell? You know what? I wonder what the hell happened, because that's crazy. What the hell just happened here? What just happened? That's where it bounced. Bounced right there. Oh, well. It bounced right there. No, but I do recall you talking about the creatine. I I didn't like the experience with creatine that I had previously when I was trying to be a gym bro, like a real one, back in the day. I didn't like it. I like the experience. I was I was gonna start bulking and all that other stuff. Bought the protein powder, which was expensive as hell. $50 for a thing of protein powder, but that didn't last too long. I don't see how that thing helps you bulk up when it makes you use the bathroom so much. That didn't last long at all. I tried the creatine and that didn't last long. I mean, I had the I mean the energy is definitely there. The energy was there. But I didn't like the experience. I just stopped taking it. I never took the protein powder or the creatine ever again. I just do everything naturally now. Just do it the natural way. Oof. Mm. No, I'm not shorting gold. I'm waiting for price to trade into about 1920 before. I'm waiting for price to trade into this block right here to take it short around 1920. I'm not shorting gold until it gets to that spot because that's where the bulls are trying to, or that's where I believe the bulls are trying to get to. Now we could see price reject from this range, but we have price breaking structure to the upside. So it's highly likely, and this is not financial advice. I'm not saying to take a long term, but it's highly likely for the bulls to buy the pullback for the long, because in order for a short to work on gold, it needs to break structure to the downside and then hold the pullback. So right now, the bulls have the benefit of the doubt. They broke structure to the upside, and we have to give them the benefit of the doubt that they'll hold the pullback. And if the bulls hold the pullback, we'll see price break through this range and potentially trade into this range. But we'll see though. Oh, really? Yeah. Mm. That's why I was like, honestly, That's why I kind of just stopped taking several things because let's see if we'll get a pullback. I mean, I'll be on stream for. I might as well just be on here until like 10 o'clock, maybe, depending on what happens. From 8 o'clock to about 9:30, 9:45, and probably 10 will be like the latest. Yeah, 1920. Yeah, I think the market will super sell off at that level. I mean, if it breaks past that level, then the bulls got it. I wouldn't even short this thing. I would just keep buying pullbacks. Because if the bulls can't even hold that, or I'm sorry, if the bears can't hold that, they don't got it no more. That means that the market wants to go higher instead of lower. Should have did it that way the first time. I don't know why I didn't do it that way. It's foolish to not do it that way. I gotta do extra work. All right, so let's see if. All right, so I'm in. I'm in this. Are you in a long game wait? Hmm. So you went short. Hold on. Tradify takes 80% or 20%. Hold on. Tradify has a 80-20 split. Hold on. I didn't know that. Hold on. Let me look at that. There was I was like, oh, okay. That's why I didn't like trade with Trade. That's why. Okay. I was wondering. I'm sitting there buying these Tradify accounts. And then I was telling myself at one point in time that I wouldn't buy it because I forgot the reason. Because I didn't like their payouts. You know, that 80-20 split is demonic, man. That's literally demonic. It literally is. Shit. 90%. 90% is bad, in my opinion, too. Shit, you make freaking 2,000, you only walking away with what, 19? You get into that 80%. I feel like, see, I mean, I think that's another, because you got to think about it. So, I mean, let's do the math on this. Let's just say that, where's my calculator? That's pure, that's Satanism right there, man. And let's just say you made $1,000. Obviously, well, I mean, that's easy because you'll only get 80. You'll get 800 and they'll get 200. Let's just say that you made $1,700 and you're only walking away with 13. I made $700 and $340 went to them just because of an 80% split. Okay, so they're saying that all SIM funded accounts will be 90-10. So it's a 90%, it's a 90-10 split. It's a 90-10 split. So yeah, I mean, if you make 3K, okay, 2,700 of it. Which kind of sucks. I like the firms that allow you, like, the first 10K is yours, and then afterwards, you know, the split happens. Yeah, so yeah, I just yeah, in their FAQs it's 90%, so you get 90% of your payout. I will not trade a firm that takes away 80%. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to do it. I think the futures trading desk may do it, I think they do it. Cuz I know Blue Sky did it and I didn't like that either. That's why I don't trade with them no more. Along with other things. But that 80% split that's a deal breaker for me. I refuse to do all the work and give and only get 80% of my work. I refuse. That is a deal breaker for me. Ah, shit. Yeah, I kind of figured. Oh my God. I mean, I'll still trade it because I mean they have daily. I mean, they do have daily payouts once you get to the live account. So I guess I mean if the firm offers daily payouts and it's an 80-20 split, then obviously that's a good trade-off. Obviously. But if I have to trade for 10 days before getting a payout and I only get 80% of that payout, then that's a deal breaker for me. I'm not gonna trade under those conditions. Okay. Mm. But they offer daily payout stuff, so. Mm. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the futures trading desk or the futures desk. My bad, calling them trading desk. The futures desk. They do daily payouts, but you have to go through 3 phases though. You have to pass the first phase, then you have to quote unquote make your drawdown, which is the $6,000. Or actually, it really depends. Actually, let me look at that because I'm assuming because I'm thinking about uh, man, they can call it whatever they want. They said that is not a second evaluation step. Yeah, the fuck it is. Because if I blow the account, you won't let me reset it. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. That's gonna be it for me tonight. I'll end the stream here. I appreciate everybody that's joined. Actually, let me, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna leave this overnight. Because I'm not looking for a long. I was hoping to ride the long back up to my area that I'm looking for a short at. I'm gonna cancel this. I'm gonna pull this order because that's not the trade I'm looking for. I'm looking for this short. But all right, guys, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody that's joined. We'll definitely come back tomorrow morning, and we'll definitely look for more opportunities to earn some more money. And with that said, peace out, everybody. Have a good night.